Want to update you on the health of Congressman Steve Scalise and his recovery. His condition has been upgraded from serious to fair 1 week after he was shot at that Republican congressional baseball practice. We asked Dr. Mark Siegel about Scalise's amazing recovery, going from the fear of imminent death to now being in fair condition. Dr. Siegel says it's nothing short of a medical miracle, really, especially considering that a bullet to the pelvis no doubt did significant damage to some of Scalise's major organs. But we are pleased to tell you his progress is, if not a miracle, remarkable. We extend our hopes, our prayers, and all our best to him and his family. Joining me now to talk about the Republican agenda in the House, where there will soon be 2 new Republican members, Congressman Louie Gohmert. He's a member of the House Judiciary Committee, former judge, and a great American.
Thanks, Lou.
After all these years in Washington. What's your reaction?
Thanks for bringing up Steve. It is a miracle, and he was on death's door,
right,
and prayers have made all the difference. The doctor is saying it's out of our hands, and so the prayers have made a difference. They just have. And
he's got to be a pretty tough fella.
Oh man, are you kidding? It's Steve Scalise. He's from South Louisiana. He knows how to fight.
You better believe it.
Yeah.
And
good guy.
And we're delighted that there's so much good news for him and his family and for everybody. Let's turn to those special elections last night, Judge. The idea that this president is animating the Republican Party, that he is a gift to the Republican Party. It's starting to dawn. I saw it dawn on Karen Handel. She stood there. I wasn't entirely sure she was thrilled with that idea. But I'll tell you what, it's occurring to people that, guess what? They've got the secret sauce, the magic weapon, whatever you want to call it, and his name is President Donald J. Trump.
Well, yeah, and a lot of people were thinking that, and I think she was given some advice, that you need to run as far away from the president as you possibly can, and the Democrats were saying, oh, we're going to make mincemeat, we're going to hang Trump around her neck, and I think they figured out that really wasn't a good strategy for the Democrats.
Well, she had time to turn. I mean, she changed it. She was,
she did.
She was following the nonsense, and then she decided to follow her intellect and the facts. Today, former Jay Johnson, Health and the Department of Homeland Security, is saying that the DNC turned down the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI their help when the DNC was informed by the FBI they had been hacked by the Russians. Now,
well, you know, isn't that interesting? I know in my days as a prosecutor and as a judge and Chief Justice, normally when someone had a crime, they were the victim of a crime, they wanted law enforcement to come in and help them, with few exceptions.
Especially when it's a national security issue.
Yeah, and especially when we're talking about, you know, their whole essence through the internet, and especially when we know, as we do now, that the head of the CCC had hired, or the DNC had hired one of the Awan brothers from Pakistan, and apparently they're under investigation. They have been working with her, and the last episode here not that long ago that
why is anybody,
one of them had her,
I got to just ask you, why is anybody taking any one of these lying son of a guns at the DNC seriously? And why would the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security not insist that they get into those servers and start acting in the national interest and protecting the country?
Well, I don't know, but I think the better question is, why would they not invite them in? And I'm really interested in their excuse, but just from my own experience in all those years, usually the reason somebody didn't want to invite law enforcement in to investigate is because they knew they would find that they had committed crimes if they came in and started investigating. So I don't know why the DNC didn't want them in, but that's the only reason that I've found in the past. So I'd be interested to know why they didn't. But
well, you know, you would have thought that Bernie Sanders was a little upset with the crimes of the DNC, since they colluded. We know how Democrats react when they hear the word collusion. Colluded to deny him their party's nomination.
Exactly. But now the collusion is mainly has been in the Department of Justice, is where we're finding the most collusion.